Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Nudar Chowdhury. I'm an outreach engagement specialist at New Jersey Citizen Action Education Fund, and I'm going to be talking about the eviction prevention program. Before we, I want to take this time to acknowledge the Department of Community Affairs, who has supported funding for this grant. The substance and findings of this work are dedicated to the public. The author and publisher are solely responsible for the accuracy of the statements and interpretations contained in this publication. Such interpretations do not necessarily reflect the views of the federal, state, or local governments. Before talking about the eviction prevention program, I just want to talk a little bit about New Jersey Action Education Fund and who we are as an organization. Our organization is a statewide nonprofit that fights for social, racial, and economic justice for all. We offer many free services to make a difference in the lives of New Jerseyans. Some of free services include eviction prevention, which is what I'll be using today, healthcare enrollment, tax preparation, housing discrimination, financial coaching, and we have a team of HUD counselors who provide rental counseling, foreclosure prevention, first-time homebuyer counseling, and many more. And if you're interested in learning about any of these services, you can also visit us at NewJerseyCitizenActionEducationFund.org. Now let's begin talking a little bit about the new eviction protection program. The new eviction protection program is a new service created as a result of a law that was passed by Governor Murphy back in August of 2021. Our program aims to raise awareness and connect tenants or landlords to the required form and time-sensitive programs. So, like I just said, this program is for both tenants and landlords. It's important to understand that these service protections and are offered regardless of your status, and they are solely dependent on household income levels and your what county you reside in. So if this program is also available for folks who are undocumented. What are the new protections? The law offers protections for rent accrued during the pandemic, extended protections depending on your household income levels. The law restricts the reporting of unpaid rent or debt owed during the pandemic to credit agencies such as Union, Equifax, and Experian, to other debt collection agencies, and to other landlords. It strongly limits the sale or transfer of civil debt, and it imposes strict fines on landlords who report such debt.
Civil debt.
Now let's get into detail about who is protected under the eviction prevention program. If your income is below 120% of your county's area median income, you are permanently protected from eviction from rent accumulated between March 1st, 2020 until August 31st, 2021 for all New Jersey households. If your income is below 80% of your county's area median income, you are permanently protected from eviction from rent accumulated between March 1st, 2020 until December 31st, 2021. I know these numbers are a bit confusing. We'll go into more detail in the next couple of slides. Rent and from March 1st, 2020 to August 31st, 2021, or from March 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2021, will be converted to civil debt that the tenant still owes. These are not for eviction, but they are ground civil suit. So reiterate, this law protects you from eviction, but it does not remove your debt completely. So as I just discussed, this chart depicts those who are permanently protected for rent accumulated from March 1st, 2020, August 31st, 2021. So there's two time periods for the protection, and it all depends upon your income. So for those who fall under this time period, you would fall under 120% of the HUD area median income. So just to give you an example, because I know the 120% can be confusing, if you live in Burlington County and there are two people in your household, if your income falls below $71,350, you are permanently protected from eviction for rent accrued or refusal in rent increase from March 1st, 2020 to August 31st, 2021. This is the second criteria for those who are protected, and this is for extended protections. For those who are permanently protected up until this past December 31st, 2021, and it would be those who fall under % of the HUD area median income. So I'll give you another example. Say you live in Atlantic County and there are 6 people in your household. If the income falls below $77,150, really protected for late rental payments, refusal rent increase from March 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2021. And these charts are also available on the Department of Community Affairs website. So if you're not sure if you qualify, you can go to their website and pull up this chart and look up your income and your county and see if you fall under these protections. You must take action to be protected from eviction. It is not automatic. So just because you qualify for these protections doesn't mean that they're automatic. You have to fill out the income self-certification, certifying your income level, that you suffered economic hardship due to COVID-19, and that you have submitted the pre-application rental assistance to the state. Currently, the rental assistance program, they are still taking applications, but they are not pulling applications until further notice. And they will begin pulling applications soon. It's just a matter of reallocating the funding again. But we still urge people to apply because funding will be available in 2022 very soon. So the information that's required to fill out the income self-certification form and the pre-application is very basic information. You'll need your name, your address, your county residence, the number of people in the household, your household income. If you have a docket number, you'll need the docket number and an email address. For the pre-application, you'll need all of the information you would need for your income self-certification, but you'll also need a driver's license number, social security number, and your owner's information. If you are undocumented, it will not require you to give a driver's license number or your social security number. And when you provide your docket number for the income self-certification form, it sends your form automatically to the court. So the court will then notify you when it has been processed and if your case has been dismissed. And if you have a court date, you must still go to the court date and present your self-certification form. So say you have a court date scheduled for tomorrow and we fill out the income self-certification form today to protect you from eviction, you still have to go to your court tomorrow and take that form with you. You cannot skip a court date. Once we've had to apply for your income certification form and the pre-application for rental assistance, we will connect you to a HUD certified rental counselor. And this is just some of the things that they assist clients with, including helping you fill out the required emergency rental assistance applications. They help clients with negotiating your landlords. They identify your goals and your objectives. They document your household income and expenses and help you develop a household budget. And this is just some of the free assistance that they provide. Interested in learning more about this, you can also visit NewJerseyCitizenAction.org. And we know some tenants are facing some very complicated situations right now with evictions. We also connect clients to legal services, including Legal Services of New Jersey, Volunteers for Justice New Jersey, and the Community Health Law Project. So if you're in need of more assistance, these are the people we would get you in contact with. And if you are looking for assistance, you can reach us at our hotline at 1-888-653-8893, or you can send us an email at evictionprevention@NewJerseyCitizenAction.org. I'm also excited to announce that we do have a new office opening up in Elizabeth, New Jersey, open for healthcare enrollment, and soon will also be open for eviction protection. So if you would like to meet in person with one of our specialists, we can also arrange for that. And if you would like to directly get in contact with me, you can email me at nudar@njcitizenaction.org, or you can give me a call at 908-718-6204. And now I want to open it up for some question and answers. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask.
Yes, hello. Yeah, I have a question. My name is Farag Yusuf, and yeah, I filed this certificate already in 2021 in September, and
Okay.
I emailed it to my landlord, who was filed an eviction for me since 2020. But the certificate I filed it didn't include the docket number because I wasn't aware about like what docket number mean and stuff like that. But basically, I enter everything like my information, the unit where I live, where my landlord, and already I received the certificate in my email, and I emailed it to them. And in October, they got the assistant. My assistant, they got it from the state of New Jersey, and started to process it in November 2021. But they didn't dismiss the case, and they started to sue me based on the case from 2020 in last month.
Okay, so you're saying that you filled out the form and they did not dismiss your case and your landlord is suing you?
Yeah, but now they show me for they delayed some check from 2022. They delayed like February check, and then they hold my March check. But basically, they didn't file a new case. You know, they kept the case from 2021. Although I sent for them since September 2021, informed them I filled out this, and the Department of Community Affairs asked me to send it to you. Since September, they didn't dismiss the case, and they reopened it in 2022 now. Recently, I started to recognize, oh, I sent it to them already. I thought it's a new case against me. Last week, I sent it to the Middlesex landlord tenant, the special case court. But basically, they didn't answer me till now. Even I visited them in person, said, okay, we have your certificate in the record now, and we'll let you know. But basically, the last step, the landlord took it against me, like they sent for me like a warrant of removal. But they said as long as you file the motion, because after they started the trial between me and them, I attended the trial, but I wasn't aware I have to show the court the certificate, and I thought it's a new case. They filed it in 2022. After that, I started to contact the service from you guys, explain for me I have to let the court know I have this certificate, and I emailed it to them, and I visited them yesterday, and I showed them, said, okay, we have it in our record, and as long as you have still a motion still pending, they can't process with you. My question now, aren't the court supposed to dismiss this case now?
So you just sent it to them, is what you're saying, the income self-certification form, and they're still processing it?
I don't know what they are doing. I sent it to them last Friday.
Friday, okay.
No,
it does
Sunday.
sometimes.
I'm sorry.
Sunday?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I sent it. Yeah, Sunday, and I was waiting to hear from them because, as I read, they have to dismiss the case and notify you. But basically, on the other hand, the landlord already has like a warrant of removal against me. I don't know what will happen.
Okay, so with the income self-certification form, since you just sent it, it might take, since you just sent it on Sunday, it will take probably, I would say, at least a week to hear back from them, because they do have to process it with your case. Your landlord, so your landlord has a civil suit against you, which is legal. Like the income self-certification only protects you from being evicted. They can still take you to court for the money that you owe.
Yeah, but even if this case was filed already in 2020, and I sent for them like certificates, and they got the assistance from the state to pay my rent. Basically, they stayed like from September till end of December. All of this time, I don't have anything with them till they started to hold my checks in 2020, and they opened the case again, which I don't think it matches with. If they wanna open a new case, they have to open it new 2022. But The other case it should be like closed, because basically there is a process. They have to send it for me like, why is you suing me? All of this stuff they send it to 2020, not 2022. Basically they opened the case in 2020 and they have the issue in 2022.
Okay, so Beth, is it to get people's number email to me? Maybe throw it into the chat.
For who?
What I think I have to do is we have to get you in contact with just to figure out why they're opening 2 cases against you.
No, yeah, you misunderstood. They kept the old case, and once 2022 came, they started to claim I didn't pay for them in 2022. I mean, isn't it a 2020 case they filed against me? It should be dismissed from before that.
So they reopened your old case, is what you're saying?
Exactly. Yeah, they didn't dismiss it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we would still have to contact legal services for that, because the legal aspects you'd have to discuss with them if they're allowed to do that or not. But if it seems like the original case, if it was not dismissed, then they can still bring you to court in 2022 for it.
Yeah, this what my objection against that. How you can like sue me for 2022 for case already it has to be dismissed by law, and I submit for serve for you like the certificates, and you get like the assistance. So basically there is no legal base to you should dismiss it, and if you have any issue with me in 2022, you have to start a new case. At least I have to notify, because basically I received the package from the court, and I didn't understand why they suing me at this time. I thought it's a new case in front of the judge. I told him they didn't receive send it for me. Why they're suing me? But they sent it in 2022. I didn't even recognize there is there's like a link between both. Still, I started to have like access to e-court and started to look where the case was filed and started to go with them through the trial.
And do you receive the assistance for the back rent or no? You did?
Yeah,
did you receive
I
money?
received it. Yeah,
Okay,
I
that is a very weird situation that you are in. I'm gonna have your information and refer to legal services. They help people for free, because that is very weird circumstances for your landlord if the rent is paid and you have filled out the income self-certification form for him to still be taking you to court for that.
Yeah, and basically they got like the rent till September 2021, and the state kept like 3 months in advance. So basically they keep taking the renting the 3 months after September, and they didn't dismiss. I contacted the legal services from your side, and they told me, yeah, just have to go to the court, show them that, and email it to them, and this is what I did. But I'm a little bit scared, sometimes there is a big, it's a big management handling like 1,000 of units. They have kind of connection between them and the court staff. Sometimes maybe they do some stuff to kick you out, and after that you start to your process to explain your issue again.
Okay, so yeah, can you put your name, your phone number into the chat, and I'll call you directly and refer your information as well. Because it seems like also you have to like wait, since you just sent your income certification form, that might also be complicating the case a little bit until it's fully processed and dismissed.
Yes, maybe yes, maybe you're right in that. But
yeah, like since you just sent that might be the reason why the your landlord was able to bring the case, in 2022.
Yeah, this also only my legal situation with them now. If they have any issue with me in 2022, okay, send for me or why you're suing me, and I can send the objection or explaining for the court. But you shouldn't bring something already passed away from the grave and bring it back to me. Something it confused me actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I send my name and the phone number. Thank you so much.
And your phone number, please.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Jennifer. I want to tell you about my case because I don't know what to do and I don't know the law. So I want to know where to go. So my landlord has received from DCA 6 months, 3 ahead and until January. After January, we applied for extra funds. On the application, there is extra funds. We applied on the 15th of February. DCA didn't deny the application or accept it. They're still reviewing it. I spoke with Android. I told them that if they didn't pay, we will make payments, but we are in a very hard position. We can't pay now. So if they didn't pay, we will go to the bank and get a loan and pay for you guys. And still they took us to court, and the court date now is on the 13th of April. And the thing that is so annoying, they are harassing us with papers, with everything. They put the court papers on the front of the building, in front of everyone, so everyone going in, they see the court the court documents. They should put it on our door, not down there. It's so like humiliating. Yet they want everyone to know. When they see us, they look to the kids like in a weird way. I don't know what to do, and I don't know if you know any lawyer that will present us for free, or because it's just I talked to them last week before we received the court papers and the court date on the 18th. I told them we're waiting for DCA decision. If they didn't pay you, we will pay you. We'll make payment. We will do this, but before we have to wait. If they said okay, you will receive your money. And another question for you. I sort out the self-certification and I send it to them, and they said it will not work because the months that you owe are February, March, and now April. So they're taking us to just 2 or 3 months. And I don't know if I have to submit this to the court, the form, or it's not gonna help me. And what should I do in this case? So I spoke with DCA several times. They said, you're not the only case. We are studying your case and we will go to a decision soon. We don't know when. So I just need your advice, what to do, or if you have some contact to help me.
So we're living in like very difficult times because the moratorium has ended for the pandemic. So if you owe rent after December 31st, you're not protected, your landlord will evict you. So because you owe February, March, it's illegal for your landlord to take you to court, and if the eviction goes through, you can be evicted. And with the DC application, I would say if you can to try to, if they contact you later, they'll talk to you and they'll figure out how to distribute and which months to distribute it in. So if you have the means to kind of, I know it's hard, but if you have the means to pay for your rent right now, I would tell you to pay for your rent if you're not trying to get evicted from where you are, your residency, because the protections only last from March 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2021. So if you miss your rent after that, your landlord can legally evict you, and they can take you to court, and mostly the court will go through with the eviction.
But even if DCA didn't get to a decision yet, even if we have a case with DCA with the government?
Yeah, even if you have a case with the DCA, if you haven't received the funding, physically received the funding, then your landlord can still evict you, because it's not the DCA application is like thousands and thousands of people applying. And just because you apply doesn't mean that you will get the funding. It's not like 100% just because you apply, the state is going to give you money. They do it. They're processing the applications and they're choosing how they're going to distribute the money. Like unfortunately, there's not money for everybody. So you shouldn't not pay your rent just because you're waiting for the funding to. Your landlord can still evict you.
So this at least. This DCA application cannot grant us sometimes, like until, let's say, we cannot like say to the court, if you can wait just for the decision. If we got denied, we will pay all the money with payments, like go to an agreement.
So if If that's something that you're looking to do, you have to be in agreement with your landlord. Like I have talked to clients whose landlords have been understanding and they are willing to see if their tenants receive the funding before they decide to file an eviction against them. But that's really just a decision that you'd have to come to terms with your landlord on. It won't hold in like the court of law unless your landlord decides to pause the eviction.
Oh, okay. And can you send me, I think under my name there is the email, or I send you my email. Can you send me like lawyers that are willing to present you like for free, or how should we do that? Or
well, so what you would do is if you are looking for some type of legal assistance, you would call one of the numbers that I'm going to send you. You sent me your email in the chat. I'll make sure to get in contact with you and you explain the situation to them and see if they can assist you. I can also, for everybody who's in the chat, there are, depending upon the county that you live in, there are other rental assistance programs available. So at the county level, and you can double dip. You're not gonna, just because you got approved for funding for your county level doesn't mean the DCA is gonna reject your application. What they'll do is that if the county level rental assistance is approved for you for January to June, the DCA will give you funding after that time period. So from like July to September. They won't give you the money at the same time as another program, but they'll find a way to distribute it if you're qualified for both. So if anybody's also interested in county level rental assistance, put your name, your email, and your phone number into the chat, and I'll make sure to send that to you after the presentation.
all right, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. And I have my name and my email and my phone number up. If you want to write it down and you want to give me a call or anything, it's right here.
All right, thank you so much for your help. Thank you.
No problem.
I have a question. If a landlord wants to sell a property, but the tenant is kind of going through this issue right now, are they able to sell the property? And will the new owner have difficulty getting the renter out of that property that they just purchased?
Okay, so this is actually has been happening a lot. And so if okay, it just depends on the situation. Basically, the landlord, as long as they give, as long as the lease is over and they give 30 to 60-day notice, they can sell the property and kick the tenant. Essentially, like they're not required to renew a lease with any tenant, and they are allowed to sell their property as long as they give 30 to 60-day notice.
And what if the tenant refuses to leave?
Most likely, the landlord will probably call the police and have them forcefully taken out of the property. Because there's no like legal basis for staying if you don't have a lease and you've already been given a notice.
Okay. I just didn't know how that played into like squatters' rights and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem. And again, it can be like a situation type scenario as well. Like some people I know have been kind of allowed to stay and other people have been kicked out. But when it comes to the actual law, as long as they give 30 to 60-day notice and the lease is up, they are not required to renew a lease and they can sell the property.
I had a question. My name is Danielle. I'm a social worker in early intervention. So when you were giving your presentation, I just wanted to see if I heard something correctly. Did you say that they weren't allowed to increase rent during the pandemic?
Yes, they were not. So if some tenants didn't know this and they were paying an increased rent, or their landlord tried to increase their rent, like there's this apartment complex up in North Jersey where this has been a big issue. It's mostly senior citizens living there, and their landlord tried to increase their rent between March 1st, 2020 and December 31st, 2021. And most of the tenants rejected it. And, you know, the landlord's threatening eviction, but it's not legal. They cannot be evicted for that rent increase.
Okay, what about late fees also? Are late fees included in?
Late fees are in, so if you missed your rent and there's like a late fee, you will owe that late fee.
You do owe the late fee, okay. Because I have a family and it's a lot of undocumented families that live in the complex and they increased the rent in October of 2020 and then they increased the rent again in October of 21. So they legally weren't allowed to do that.
Yeah, they were legally not allowed to do both rent increases.
Okay, so would I, if I call on behalf of the family, would I cite this, the thing from Governor Murphy then?
So what we'd have to do is that I would have to get in contact. I know if there's like a lot of people who work for who are social workers and organizations, you can take my contact info, is that
Okay.
they would have to fill out the income self-certification form to be protected. So they have to fill out the form if there is an eviction against them.
There's no eviction, but they're paying this increase in rent that
Okay.
I guess apparently they shouldn't be.
Yeah, so yes, they'd have to fill out the income self-certification form, and then they have a right to pay whatever they signed on before the pandemic.
Oh, okay. And then I just want to piggyback off what the last woman said about the landlord selling the house. What if there is a lease? You said if there's no lease, the lease is over. What if there is a lease? Can he still make them leave?
He can, it really circumstances, the 30 to 60 day notice. Really.
Okay.
I don't want to answer that 100% because I'm not sure about the lease. So I can definitely look that up and get back to you guys on that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Diana. I have a question. So does this pertain to families or does it, is there, I guess, like additional protection for those with like young children at a certain age? And the only reason why I asked that is because I didn't get the full story, but when I was working as a service coordinator in New York, a friend of mine was renting a home to a family who had young children, and the state wouldn't allow her to evict them, even with the notices and everything, because she had young children in the home. Is that also, and again, I didn't get like the full story, but is that something as well here in New Jersey that like protects families with young children?
I know in January, they were granting a 2-month extension on the moratorium for the protections. But again, since it was 2 months, that would have ended by now that it is March. But I don't believe that I think there would probably have to be special circumstances, but in a general statement, I don't believe that they're giving extended protections for those who have families.
Thank you.
No problem.
So can to piggyback off of the social worker's question or her comment, if a family incurred a late fee because now the rent was increased during this time, which when it shouldn't have been, would a late fee still be put into play?
That's a good question. I want to say if it has to do with the rent increase, like if you are paying the rent that you signed on to when pre-pandemic, I believe that you should be protected from the late fees, but let me look into that as well. That's the first time anyone has actually asked us about that. So I will look into that, and if anybody needs clarification on that, please throw it into the chat, and I'll definitely send an email out to clarify on it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Nudor, I have a question. If a family moved into a home and a couple months later, the state came in and told them you shouldn't be living here because the landlord does not have a CO, certificate of occupancy. They took the landlord to court, and I'm not too sure. I have to find out what happened. But the tenant never received anything. now he's telling them, he's selling the home and they have to move. But he keeps telling them the same thing. It's been like 2 or 3 months. He keeps saying, oh, I'm going to take you to court, and he really doesn't. So how would this family be able to find out whether or not there is a certificate of occupancy?
So what I'll do is we have folks who do help with like the more legal aspects within our organizations when these things happen, especially within our HUD certified counseling. So again, if you could type that question out for me in the chat so I don't forget
Perfect.
later, I will definitely get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you
because
so
that's a very
much.
like unique situation. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, hi, it's Danielle again. I just have homework. How do you get that form that they have to fill out, the income form?
So I can, oh, sorry, I forgot to mention this. So depending on the client and the folks who need assistance, I can directly meet with them via phone appointment, and I can assist them in filling out the forms. We also have an outreach engagement specialist who speaks Spanish and one who speaks English. So there are Bengali. So if there are any language barriers amongst people who need the intake form, we can meet with them directly, explain to them what this program is, and help them fill out the form. And also, I have a Google intake form that I can send to anybody who is here today. So you would just fill out the form for me, and then I would go and fill out the applications my next work day. Basically, whenever the intake form comes in, I would fill it out the next day, and then I would send an email to the people applying with the copy of their income self-certification form and the applicant ID for the rental assistance program.
Okay, thank you. And is there any way to get a copy of today's presentation? Like with the,
I believe
the
Beth
cards
is
with the-
recording it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yes, it is being recorded, and I have a copy of the presentation too as well.
Okay, thanks, Beth.
No problem. And I will also collect the chat with everybody's information too, to give you Nidar.
Yes. And I'll be contacting you sometime this week once Beth sends the list of people who are interested with your questions, everything. And again, if you're a social worker, your coordinator, email is there. You can email at any point and tell me, oh, I have a person or this family who needs help with the eviction protections. You can send me their name and their phone number, and I will call them directly as well and help them and assist them with it.
This is great, Nidar. Does anybody else have any questions? If you want, you can even throw them in the chat and we can, Nidar, I can send them to Nidar later if you want. And Nidar, thank you for mentioning the different languages. I think that's such an important piece that people don't realize how diverse the languages you have in your organization, I think is really fantastic.
And I know sometimes it's like the situation, so we have folks who can understand whatever the situation is.
So no more questions? Is everybody good? Wonderful. So again, yes, this is recorded and I do have a copy of the PowerPoint with everybody's information. I'll give that, who had questions, I'll give that to Nidar. And then I will be sending this out. The video is going to take a little bit because we're trying to find a place where we can put it so people can access it. So we're working on that through the collaborative right now. But I want to thank you all so much for joining. This is such great information that I know a lot of you who work with families are in need of this assistance, and a lot of families are in need of this assistance. So, you know, spread the word about Nidar, and, you know, maybe, you know, at another time we can do it again. So we want to thank you all very much. There's also going to be, when this ends, there's going to be a pop-up of a survey, if you wouldn't mind filling that out real quick. And Carmen, I see you had another question. Did you want to put it in the chat or did you want to say it?
Yeah, I can say it. That's fine. I just thought about it, about this
No
family I'm
problem.
thinking about. So if this family is living in this home without a certificate of occupancy, what can they do? Can you help me so I can help them? Tell me
Absolutely.
like, what they should do.
Yes, and I can briefly, while we have 10 minutes left, explain a little bit more of the services that we
'Cause I'm
provide,
not
because
too sure.
it seems like a lot of people here like work with families,
Right.
and your social workers, all of that. So with organizations, so I help with the eviction prevention program, but I mentioned in the beginning the other services offer. And if you have families that are in need of like finding affordable housing, just like programs, if they're older and they need help finding programs, our Homebuyer Counseling department helps with all of those things. So say the family that's working with Carmen is in need of maybe like affordable housing, I can definitely refer them to that department, and they're gonna set up an account with them, and they're gonna help find services or programs available. So if you have families who are in need of other services, please let me know, and I'll refer you to people in my coworkers who work in other departments within the organization, and hopefully we have something for basically like everything, you know. So if you are in need of other services, I can find a way to get you in contact with somebody.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Nidar. That was great to learn about all the other programs too. We really appreciate you taking the time today, because I think by the questions and everything that there's a lot more that people want to learn about. So this is great that they didn't know about some of these programs. So I can't thank you enough for taking the time to meet with all of us today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Of course, we definitely want to have you back again.
Yes.
So anybody else, any other last minute questions? You could throw them in the chat. I don't want to rush you off because we do have a few more minutes, but I want to be mindful of everyone's time as well. No, looks like we're good. I'm sorry, Jennifer, did you want to say something? No? Okay. Sorry, I saw you come off mute.
Just coughing.
That's okay. And you all should have my information, but I am going to put it here in the chat in case you need to contact me to get you connected. Well, I thank you all so much for your time. This has been such fantastic information. Again, you have Nidar's information. I have all of the information in the chat so we can get you connected. And then you have my information as well. So hopefully we'll be able to get you into the right place. Like she said, she has so many different programs and colleagues. So we're excited to be able to get you connected. So we thank you all so much for coming today.
Thank you.
And stay tuned. There's more coming. So
Yeah.
stay tuned. Okay. Thank you everyone so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.